Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm Billy Mitchell, editor-in-chief of FedScoop, and I'm joined by Henry Sowell, head of Cloudera Government Solutions. Henry, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So I look forward to talking to you, as we always do, about some interesting stuff. Specifically, it's January 2021, a new year ahead of us, and I'd like to get a grasp of what you think are the biggest priorities in the government space for the very popular topic right now of data management.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been talking to a lot of executives lately, and some of the interesting trends that I see coming into this year as people are looking at data management and their data strategy overall is focusing on some of the fundamentals. Whether it's data cleanliness, data preparation, ensuring that where they are on their cycle for going everything from collection down to actually making decisions. I think some of the decisions that executives are making, they want to ensure that where the data is coming from is both clean, ready, and prepared, and that they understand where it came from, understand the veracity of the data sources, so that everything else that happens, the decisions, machine learning, all those things that drive things to decision makers to make decisions are done effectively and are done in a way that creates something that they can trust. And so I think there's that mission focus is on some of the fundamentals. And I think we're going to see that, especially in agencies that I've talked to within the Department of Defense.
Great. So obviously COVID-19 is a continuing concern and definitely, disrupts and changes something in the federal space. So I'd love to hear from you, how COVID-19 has further emphasized the need for strong data management and, expanded data sharing.
Yeah, I think some of the things top of mind that again from the conversations that I've been having, right when all of this first kicked off, there was the need to adjust to a new world where half your workforce suddenly became remote. You had a huge number of different endpoints that you now had to secure. You had to stand up new infrastructure to be able to handle what all of these new workloads, everything that was happening. How do I gain new access? And then you had the security aspect to all of that. And I think there's been this big push to say, like, we have to be prepared, and we have to be flexible. We have to have the ability to operate in an agile way that allows us to be able to stand up new vendors, stand up new technology, continue to maintain and create the governance and security policies that we have before, and then we have to secure it all. And that's come out with a lot of new solutions and interesting techniques across the government space.
Great. Another big topic this year will undoubtedly be the move to adopt cloud and artificial intelligence, the sort of continuation of that, but I think there's still a lot of room to grow in that area in the federal government. So I'd love to, we hear a lot about how important data is in that journey. So what things should agencies consider when it comes to data on that journey to AI and cloud?
Yeah, it's funny when I think about it is, if your data strategy is just part of your cloud strategy, then you really don't have a data strategy. I think there's this push to, hey, I've got to go adopt cloud, I have to do this stuff, but that really doesn't come down to the fundamentals of what it means to have a data strategy. Do you understand and have a clear governance and security policy? Do I understand where does my data sit now? Where does it potentially going to sit? How do my mission users potentially going to need to use that? Because as you start answering those fundamental questions rather than just point solutions, then you start coming out with a more robust and flexible solution. One that understands, hey, I may need to have a multi-cloud strategy, while cloud is great, I also have to consider costs and flexibility, and that some of my data sets will never make it to the cloud. And how do I continue to operate effectively, understanding my governance and security policies, that I can operate between those two while reducing cost of having to re-implement between those different areas. And I think those are some key things that folks are continuing to learn lessons on and to develop better data strategy solutions going forward. We've seen a number of different data strategies from multiple different agencies and organizations throughout the government space to help address those things.
Sure. And then as we close out, as more and more agencies are sharing their data and data sharing increases, how should they think about the security risks that are present when sharing that data?
Sure. I think one, kind of like what I was referencing when you talk about a data strategy, is understanding that, the full life cycle. Because you have to consider everything from where you're collecting data, whatever point you're doing that, when you're transforming, moving it, that you understand who's touched it, where it's gone, what's been transformed, who you're serving it to, what data warehouses you're putting that into, what kind of machine learning, how is that machine learning being affected, and that full life cycle. You have to understand governance, security. You have to understand then the users that are gaining access to that, and developing policies that help you to, one, control access, provide proper authorization, give the right, correct kind of access, use the attribute-based access control, so that you can use a number of different factors to properly secure your data, all combined with a robust security policy for protecting endpoints and other things for your organization.
That's great. Henry, as always, it's been tremendous catching up with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate you having me on.